Members, that will take us back to item number 127. You'll recall that item number 127 is a possible action related to city charter amendments that would be on the ballot in November 2024. The motion that we discussed on the message board and that was brought up in the work session was a discussion around the idea that what we would do today is we would give direction to staff to come back to us at the July 18th meeting with ballot, I don't know what the right word is, but ballot ready items that we could adopt and move forward, with also recommendations regarding, at the same time, those items that could be handled by way of ordinance or resolution. So that would be the motion that I will accept after we listen to people that are signed up to speak.
Thank you, Mayor. William Bunch. He has time donated by Roy Whaley, if Roy is still here.
I don't see either Mr. Bunch or Mr. Whaley.
Okay. Julian Reyes, Bobby Levinsky, and Felicity Maxwell.
Are any of those people present? Call their names one more time. Mr. Bunch. All right. Well, you're here now, so come on.
I'll just call the names again really quickly.
Please.
William Bunch, Julian Reyes, Bobby Levinsky, and Felicity Maxwell.
Thank you, Mayor. Council members, Bill Bunch, Save Our Springs Alliance. I want to encourage you to step way back from virtually all of these charter amendments. Almost all of them, with the exception of the reassignment of your attorney to answer to the council rather than the manager, are designed to reduce accountability of the council, reduce transparency of city operations, and reduce even further this very narrow range that we have of local direct democracy, initiative, referendum, and recall. The standards that we have for signature gathering, if you think they're easy, you've never done it before. If you look at our history the last 20 years, there have been relatively few initiatives. The ones that have gotten on the ballot, lots started but never got there. People approved some of them and they voted down some of them. But they serve as a critical check on your power when there's gridlock at City Hall, when there's undue influence of too much real estate money, as was the case with Save Our Springs initiative. And if there's some extreme example where a council has misbehaved or is completely out of step with their constituents. On recall, there's no recall happened in decades that I know of. So what are y'all afraid of? Why are you going to basically make it impossible to recall one of you? What message are you sending to the community? Please don't go forward with that, because all you're doing is making it clear you want all of the power, not just 99% of it, but 100% of it. The stuff coming from staff for cleanup, make it consistent with state law. State law changes all the time. The Constitution less often, although we get lots of those. But our charter should say what we want it to be. So saying we're going to amend our charter to match a state statute that could be changed next year or 3 years or 5 years from now, that makes no sense. We need to leave it as is. Amending the charter to say that your rules can be adopted by resolution rather than ordinance, so it's not enforceable law, that's reducing your accountability. Saying you can be lawless. in how you run your stuff. Don't do this.
Thank you, Mr. Bunch.
Thank you.
Mayor, I've called all the speakers for this item.
Thank you. Members, that concludes the public testimony with regard to item number 127. The chair will entertain a motion that will direct the staff to return to the City Council at the July 18th meeting of the City Council with prepared items to allow council to vote to place items on the ballot or, as recommended by staff, to address the specific issue or issues by resolution or ordinance. Is there a motion? Motion made by Councilmember Ryan Alter, seconded by Councilmember Velasquez. Is there discussion? Yes, Councilmember Ryan Alter.
I just want to preview for everybody. I am working with the law department and will potentially, when we come back in July, have options that group some of these recommendations, even if they potentially could have been an ordinance, if it could be grouped into a single item. I think that is just worthy of our conversation and thought. So just want to put it out there now so there's no surprise later.
Yeah, and you brought that up at the work session, and I consider that to be part and parcel of the motion you just made, which would be that they would bring it back to us in a way that we could put it on the ballot. And if there's question, or if what I would also ask about that is that if we've got a two-subject rule problem or anything like that is a close question, and I get why we might want to bundle in terms of the numbers of items, but if there's a close question, provide us with the option so that this is what it would look like if it's bundled, this is what it would look like if it was not bundled, so that we can have a definitive discussion about that and be prepared to vote on something and not need to try to amend it at that point in time. And that's consistent with what you're thinking, right? Good deal. Mayor Pro Tem?
And we also, I think it was on Tuesday, talked about there are some changes. I think Ms. Webster said there's some changes that could be handled as housekeeping. And to the extent that you were planning to separate those out and talk to us about those in July as well. So we may be able to act on those more quickly.
Yeah, and the motion makes reference to recommendations with regard to specific items that could be handled by resolution or ordinance. Other discussion? Yes, Councilmember Kelly.
Thank you, Mayor, for that recognition, and thank you for really laying this out so that the public could understand our votes today. I plan on voting in favor of this item, and then when staff comes back with what they have for us to take a look at, it might be different. And so I just want the community to understand that I am voting yes on this because I want to be able to see what comes back to us.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah, so that people will understand the purpose of this is so that we'll have a more defined set of items to vote on when the time comes, so the public will have a better feel for what it is we're actually voting on. So thanks for emphasizing that.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? In that case, without objection, item number 127 is adopted with Councilmember Allison Alter absent.